90.5, the night Brookdale Public Radio. Jeff Raspe here with you, and I have been joined by Luke and Melissa, a.k.a. Whitehorse, all the way from Canada. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good. Very good to have you here, and I thank you for going through the trials and tribulations of earlier today to get here.
There's a little planes, trains, and automobiles.
And when I got the call about what was happening to you, I literally laughed out loud for a good 10 seconds. I'm like, wow, that's a new one.
Well,
Yeah.
at one
That's not one you make up. Okay.
No.
At one point, there were 3 people, all different drivers from this car company in Brooklyn, trying to break into this Lincoln Town car in front of our apartment because they put our luggage in the trunk and then accidentally locked all of us out of the car.
Locked the keys in the car, and we're
car's
standing
running.
outside. And the poor guy was panicking. And there was nothing we could do. Nothing we could do.
And at one point, there's one. He got his buddy to come and help. Who pulled up in another town car, and he was going to try and help. And he was walking up and down North 7th Avenue in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg, looking in people's garbage cans for coat hangers.
We knew we were in trouble then. It was over. But we made it here. We lived to tell the tale.
And you actually just told me when you got here that you're actually flying off tonight.
Yes,
To
we
not
are.
not to Canada of all things, but
To L.A.
out to LA, where it'll be much warmer.
Sunny and warm.
I think that might have something to do with why we're going there.
I was joking because we're all walking around here going, "Oh my God, it's cold out!" Like, well, this will be nothing to Luke and Melissa.
I don't know. I'm a pretty wimpy Canadian.
Well, you're not an original Canadian, are you?
Well, I was born in Chicago, but I grew up in Canada.
Well, it's
so
pretty damn cold in Chicago too.
Exactly. Yep. But Luke's from Winnipeg, which is the coldest city in the world, I think.
Actually, if you define
Statistically.
truly, if a city is defined as a place with more than 500,000 people in it, which of course it's not, but if it were, Winnipeg would be the coldest on earth, factually.
Really?
Yep.
It's so cold.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true because any further north, and you probably don't have that many people.
Yeah, or
Although
if you
there
do,
are
they're
colder
coastal and they're
places,
not
yeah.
as cold.
Huh. That's...
And here's another interesting factoid that means nothing to most people, but despite the fact that it is the coldest city on earth, it's also the city where 7-Elevens sell the most Slurpees.
Really?
True, per capita.
That's interesting.
People are not very smart up there. Except my family, of course.
Perhaps it's something about cooling your insides so that the outside doesn't seem as cold.
Maybe.
I don't know. It does it.
I should try that.
Who can say?
Now, you're actually here just because you happened to be in New York for a few days.
Yeah.
You don't have a local show, although we'll fix that for your next visit.
Yes.
You played in New York City the other night, and you actually have a tour starting next week
Yeah.
that will get you, according to the dates on the website, which I guess are in progress, the closest you'll get is Albany.
Yeah.
So maybe we
Yes,
can
I think
fix
that's-
that.
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
We'll probably come back here in March or April, I would imagine.
Yeah,
There's
I
something.
think we can probably put some balls in motion to have you guys play a Jersey Shore show,
That'd be
That
great.
would be good.
and it would be really good. Now, have you guys ever played?
Not
in
just
the
Jersey
area?
Shore.
Yeah.
No, I mean we've played, in the region. We played in Philadelphia. We played in New York City, but we haven't really.
Good.
touched
Well, we'll
base
have to
around
take
here.
care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I should also mention that both of you have played in Ms. McLaughlin's band.
Yes.
That is true.
Yeah.
So have you played? You must have played with her. Actually, I think I saw you playing with her a couple of years ago at the Art Center during Lilith.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were both on Lilith
We were
a
both
few years
on,
ago.
yeah. Yeah.
I've been working with Sarah on and off for about 20 years. Since I was 3 years old. And
Almost though.
And Melissa started working with her about 6 years ago.
Yep.
So we have obviously we're busy with Whitehorse, and this is what we want to do. This is more important to us. But Sarah's been such a good friend for so long that if we've got time, we're not working with Whitehorse, and we can go and hang out with her for a few weeks and play some music. It's an opportunity we don't pass up.
Absolutely, and it's I mean, I guess going back to her hiatus, she really doesn't tour all that much anymore.
No, she doesn't.
She resurrected Lilith a couple of years ago
That's
for the
right.
first time in 10 years, 12 years.
Yeah, it
something
was a
like
decade.
that.
Yeah.
And she did another tour last year, but right now she's working on another record. So
Yeah, so
taking
it's
some time off.
you can't sit around doing nothing.
No.
So
No. No.
Start a band with your spouse.
Exactly.
And we will play a few songs from the new album, The Fates of the World Depends on This Kiss, which, by the way, I thought was the best album title of 2012.
Thank you. We stole it from a Wonder Woman comic book.
Really?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. There's a little diner in Vancouver, BC called the Templeton Diner, and they have glass covers on the tables, and underneath the glass covers there are these little postcards of vintage comic books, and there's a caption. There's Wonder Woman's being held by her boyfriend. I don't remember his name. I should know his name.
Darren, do you know the name? Darren out in the office?
Anybody know?
Of
Wonder Woman.
What was it? Wonder Woman's boyfriend?
I think most of us men are in denial that she ever had a boyfriend. But anyway, and he's saying to her, "The fate of the world depends on this kiss," and which is a really great pickup line. You got to hand it to him.
I'd fall for that.
That's what I thought when I read the album title. I was like, that's a good line.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about the album in a moment, but if you guys are up for playing something,
Sure.
now that would be
Absolutely.
cool.
Right. This is called The Devil. It's called Devil's Got a Gun. The Devil or Devil?
Devil.
Devil. Just Devil.
Look out, this thing is gonna blow. I heard it from the people in the know. There's trouble in the tenements below. There's fire where the flowers used to grow. I'm never going back. I'm running from the sun. Bullets at my heels. The devil's got a gun. I'm never going home. I'll be the only one with daylight on my tail and heaven on the run. Rain is jumping up into the clouds. The girl has ceased to make her father proud. Lovers wrapped up in cellophane. The bitter fruit is falling from its prey. I'm never going back. I'm running from the sun. Bullets at my heels. The devil's got a gun. I'm never going home. I'll be the only one with daylight on my tail and heaven on the run. I know not what I see. I'm a stranger to the face looking back at me. When the company of sisters is just like any mystery to me. Hold me, I know not who I am. If I'm a woman, you're a creature, not a man. And the eyes of a lover, they look like any others to me. It's down to the second hand. The tick-tock is more than you can stand. The grinders and the wheels, they never sleep. We're fighting to the bottom of the deep. I'm never going back. I'm running from the sun. Bullets at my heels. The devil's got a gun. I'm never going home. I'll be the only one with daylight on my tail and heaven on the run. I'm never going back. I'm running from the sun. Bullets at my heels. The devil's got a gun. I'm never going home. I'll
Every day, I get to give your dreams a chance. I love my job at New Jersey Lottery because people really do beat the odds and win, and we benefit education and institutions. I came to Brookdale after being a high school dropout and a former jockey, and Brookdale really taught me how to take my life by the reins and have confidence in myself as a student. When I think about Brookdale, the words that come to mind are integrity, diversity, self-motivation, and success. The faculty at Brookdale, absolutely amazing. So engaging, from the counselors to the professors. And I love the beautiful campus and all the fantastic friends and relationships that I meet and still have to this day. My name is Jackie Fiorito. I manage public relations at New Jersey Lottery, and I got my start at Brookdale.
That is very nice.
Thank you.
And Luke, that is the loudest, completely unplugged acoustic guitar I've ever heard.
Fantastic. This guitar is worth about $200. It's a 1959 Harmony Stella. It's made of plywood. It really is a piece of junk, and it shouldn't be a loud guitar, and it shouldn't sound good. And maybe people
It's
at
got
home.
some magic in that thing.
Yeah, I found it behind a friend's couch in Vancouver, and he moved to New Zealand.
And stole it.
I stole it. I said I'll look after that for you, and that was 15 years ago. He's never getting it back.
I've got Luke Doucette and Melissa McClelland here, who are known as White Horse and who have a brand new album called The Fate of the World Depends on This Kiss, which we should probably explain since regular listeners of ours will think, wait a minute, why is he calling it a brand new album? They were playing that last summer.
Well, the record came out in Canada in August, and apparently some of our favorite radio stations got serviced early. And so people might have hadn't heard it before, but really, truly, this record just came out this week in America.
Cool. Working in radio, sometimes you get serviced a record early.
Yeah.
And you just wonder to yourself, how do they really expect us to be playing the single for 3 months?
Yeah.
For instance, both Josh Ritter and David Bowie have albums coming out in March, and we have singles from them now.
Right.
August was 8 months ago.
Does that make us exceptionally ambitious?
Well, no, and oddly, we actually talked about this briefly off the air when you got here. And I've said this for years, and I don't really understand what it is about the border between Canada and America.
All right.
Aside from a few friends of mine I know that have actually been stopped at that border, but realistically, nobody's ever stopped at that border. There's plenty of free trade between the two countries. Yeah. Why is it that things happen in Canada and can be the biggest thing ever, and 10 miles across the border, nobody's ever heard of it?
It's true. We've done a lot of touring with a band called Blue Rodeo.
Oh, yeah.
Out of Canada, and they're huge in Canada. They play, stadiums and theaters. And we toured with them across Canada, and then we came to the States with them, and, they're playing little bars and clubs. It was amazing to see the difference.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of things that play. There's Canadian content regulations at radio and television in Canada where broadcasters have to favor Canadian content, or just a certain percentage. I think
35%,
it might be 35% has to be Canadian.
Which is
great.
Overwhelming.
No,
I don't think. I mean, it'd be different if it was 75% Canadian.
Right. I just think as a result, Canadians, the bands that might not have an international profile manage to have some success in Canada. And we don't know whether they are successful in Sweden or anywhere else. We don't know. So obviously there are the Sarah McLachlans and the Bryan Adams of the world who cross borders, no problem. But it's in a band like the Tragically Hip.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually very glad that you used both Blue Rodeo and Tragically Hip as examples, because those are examples I always use.
Yeah.
And if not for one strange moment in time, I would include the Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And to say nothing of the myriad of others.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But knowing the Blue Rodeo guys, I know how big they are in Canada.
Yeah.
And yet here, outside of maybe New York, Boston,
they
stuff
definitely
like that.
have fans over here. There's no doubt about that. But it's quite a difference, the venues that they're playing.
And I think if you look at this interesting phenomena from this side of the border, from America, I think what you realize is the power that America has. Like, for example, we realized after touring Europe a bunch and sort of tossing ideas about going back to, we've done some tours in South Africa actually, and possibly going to Australia, New Zealand, and we realized, the best way to break New Zealand is to break Massachusetts. Truly, like the best way to break, Finland is to break California.
Well, it's true. Artists that do well in the States, it translates across the borders.
Generally it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can buy Spin magazine all over Europe.
Yeah.
That goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and much to that end, I'm always amazed at how American and British artists who don't sing in anything other than English
right.
can become so big in countries that don't speak English.
Right.
It always struck me as odd, and then somebody just explained it very simply and practically. It's like, look, if I sing in Finnish, I can only play in Finland. If I sing in English, I can play anywhere, because everybody who listens to English music, it doesn't matter whether you speak English or not, Michael Jackson's music.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I've had this conversation with friends of mine who've played in other countries, where it's very non-English, whether it's the Far East or Scandinavia, and the audience really has no idea what they're singing along to.
Have you ever seen that YouTube clip of that Italian guy from, I don't know if it was like the early 70s or the late 60s, and he wrote a song that's to sound like it is in English, but it's not. It's all gibberish.
It's gibberish.
But it's all...
It's really
this
good.
huge production. He's got this whole cast of, dancers and sets, and it's like this really elaborate thing. And the song's amazing, but it's like, it's funny to hear it. It's like, oh, that's what we sound like to them.
To them, yeah.
I think if you Google like Italian gibberish disco, you'll find it.
Do it now.
Really good.
So entertaining.
White Horse are here in the studio with me, Jeff Raspe, on this Friday afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. I would let's see. Yeah, let's do one more live song. Come back and I'll play something off of the actual album.
Okay.
If you're all in tune
Sounds
for
good.
that something.
We are.
I think we're in tune enough. Neil Young would approve of this degree of being in tune.
I don't know if that says much. All right, this song is called Mismatched Eyes, the boat song.
Was it the list and the sway? Was it the roll and the pitch?
The drunken Gulf of Mexico or the 7-year itch?
I hear the mating calls of fireflies, some celestial blues.
And they're bringing me around again, and that's something I can use.
Now I see nothing but the water, and it's falling from your face. It is the face.
It is the face.
It is the face.
It is the face I wanna show you.
Well, I remember that without you I'm a shadow.
Drifter and a barfly and whatever else you had to be.
Yeah, it's true, I've come around now. I can even touch my toes.
All the running and the talking, yeah, now everybody knows. You never speak, but I can hear you
As you sing out from your mismatched eyes. They are the eyes.
They are the eyes.
They are the eyes
I will to die with.
We're on a boat out on the ocean, and now there's nothing more to share.
We've gone
go when guitars are hungover and the songs are fast asleep.
I feel the flesh wounds in my heart, but they are mine for me to keep.
In your pocket or your fist or in your mind, but they come to you by your ears.
They are the ears.
They are the ears.
They are the ears that I will
sing to.
Trying to catch hepatitis C? Not sure where to start. Well, you know you can get infected without even having to try. Remember that time you borrowed my razor? Or how about that time you went and got a tattoo, even though I told you it would hurt? Wow! Or how about that time we went on holiday? Not that holiday. No, not that holiday either. You know, the one where you borrowed my toothbrush. Well then, what are you moping for? It hasn't got any symptoms. How do you know you haven't got it already? Have you been tested? Well then, go on. Well, what do you know? You've done it. Now who feels like a clever boy?
Terrific. Some live music from Whitehorse here in the studio. With me, Jeff Raspe, 90.5 The Night. The new album, The Fate of the World Depends on This Kiss, believe it or not, actually came out this week here in the United States. And I must say, not only do I love the album title, I actually love the photo on the cover because I know that corner very well.
Ah, you do.
In fact, I remember when it arrived, and I'm looking at it going, wait a minute, that looks way too familiar. And very, very tiny in the back, I can see Orchard Street.
Broom and Orchard. Yeah, Broom and Orchard. Exactly. And we lived there last year in a little apartment, so we spent a lot of time on that street.
Yeah.
But thanks to Whitehorse for stopping by. How can folks keep up with you? Because we're going to work on, we know some people here, and we're going to work on having you come back to the Jersey Shore to play a show.
Want to.
Yeah, we absolutely want to. Our website is whitehorsemusic.ca, as in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's another band called Whitehorse out of Australia.
The heaviest
really?
metal
Yes.
you've ever heard.
Yes, they build themselves as Australia's heaviest metal band, and it's sort of funny because every once in a while a promoter will accidentally just run a photo that they get offline, and people it's quite striking how different they are.
I don't think they like us very much.
So whitehorsemusic.ca is how you find us.
And I actually will say that I think it's if you go to whitehorse.ca, you actually find the website for a city.
That's right.
Yes,
It's the
city that we named ourselves after.
It is the capital city of the Yukon Territory up in just right beside Alaska.
Yeah.
Beautiful remote place.
Very
and
beautiful.
we hope that beauty and remoteness is somehow evocative of in the music that we make. I don't know. That's
Okay, yeah, I would agree with that. So don't go to whitehorse.ca unless you want to find out about Whitehorse Yukon. Whitehorsemusic.ca, and you guys are on that face box and everything.
All that, yeah.
We are on the faceplant.
That's one I haven't heard yet. So here, seemingly from an album that came out last summer, I'm going to play a song called Achilles' Desire from Whitehorse, but don't let that fool you. The album came out this week, which would have been Tuesday here in the United States. Thank you, Melissa and Luke, for hanging out with us, and good luck on you getting back to JFK to get to LA.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for having us on.
Thanks a lot.